This year, we've built an Instagram analytics app and we're on the verge of launching V1 of the official CodeWithChris app. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that when it comes to monetizing these two apps, I'm going to be using a subscription-based strategy. Now, in this video, I want to tell you why that is and what are the important metrics to watch out for with a subscription-based business or app. All right, let's dive in. Hey Code Crew, my name is Chris and welcome to Code with Chris, where we learn how to build apps and monetize apps. Let me explain to you why I'm such a huge fan of the subscription model and how it's resulted in better products for my business, better customer experiences, and how it's made my business sustainable. The business I'm talking about is this one, Code with Chris, but there are a lot of parallels to an app business. Let me explain. You see, we used to sell courses as one-time fee with lifetime course updates. And while that was great and it did make the business sustainable, when we were looking to grow, and that meant hiring more people, bringing more people on board, it was really hard to do that. I felt really nervous because I didn't want to make a commitment to hiring someone and then only to have to let them go because we couldn't make payroll. So about a year ago, we moved to a subscription model for our courses. And at first I was really scared to do that because I thought the business would tank and Code with Chris would no longer be sustainable. Instead, here's what happened. Instead of a one-time purchase of $294, it is now $29 a month, which meant that it lowered the barrier to entry for a lot of people. The price was a lot more inclusive. And at the end of the day, I was able to help a lot more people through the courses. And that aligns with my mission to bring more people into the world of coding. Number two, my paid courses got a lot better because instead of focusing on marketing and trying to bring as many people in through the door as possible, my focus became on the training inside of the paid program so that the current customers would continue with their subscription. Number three, people were getting a lot more for their money because when they were paying $294 for a one-time fee, they were getting 3 courses, the foundations, the databases, and the design course. Now for $29 a month, they're getting those 3 courses as well as all of the other courses that we have added since then to the membership. So it's an all-access fee for an even lower price. Number 4, people are actually getting better results, believe it or not. And that's because they're more motivated to learn and to use the product. Think about it this way, and I'll be honest as well. How many times have you bought a course for a one-time fee only to leave it there and never to access it again and never to use it? I know I've done it many times. And the reason for this is because the act of buying the course feels good. It feels like you're taking a step towards your goal. But the real work comes in actually using the course, doing the work, and putting in the effort, right? So now being a monthly subscription, every single month when the user gets billed, they are reminded that either A, they should cancel the subscription, or B, they should actually use the product and try to get some results from it. And as a result, people are actually using it more and getting more results. Now, number 5, we eventually reached the same revenue levels as we did before we implemented subscriptions, and the revenue has continued to grow because people have continued to renew their subscriptions. Now, how does all of these things relate to the world of apps? Well, just in the same way that subscriptions have helped Code with Chris, I'd expect the same thing to happen with an app. To prove my point, let's compare a paid app versus a subscription app. So let's pretend here's my app and we're doing a paid app strategy. Now I'm going to sell it for a one-time cost of $1. Someone finds it and buys it, so I get $1 and they really like it. They use it all the time. Then let's say another person comes and buys it and I get $1 and they don't like it that much. Well, you know what? Either way, I still get my $1 from them. Also, my marketing is currently bringing in 30 people per month, so my revenue is $30 per month. If I want to grow my business, I'm going to have to increase my marketing to get users through the door. That might be paying for ads, working on my App Store rankings, creating a blog to educate people and lead people to my app, or any other variety of ways to do app marketing. If I focus instead on the product, my revenue will still be $30 a month, whether it's a better product or not. Now, ideally, you would work on both your product to make it a better product and work on your marketing to increase the number of users you get per month. But as an indie developer or a solo developer, that's often hard to do. You need to focus in one place. Now let's switch gears and monetize this app with a subscription strategy. Here's how that would look. Our app is free with a $1 per month subscription. The marketing is still bringing in 30 free users per month, same as with the previous scenario. Now let's say maybe 10 users out of 30 convert to paying customers. That means that they buy the subscription. So the first month revenue would be $10. Now in the second month, this is where things start to get interesting. My marketing again brings in another 30 new people, 10 of whom convert to paying customers. So the revenue this month is $10. But in addition to that, a portion of the people from month 1 stay for another month. So let's say 5 people. So they pay another $1 each. So my total month 2 revenue is $10 plus $5. So in total, $15. So I hope you can see that even though my marketing is still only bringing in 30 new people a month, my monthly revenue will slowly start to build up as users renew their subscriptions. And it's going to get up to a point where it's going to surpass the $30 a month that the former paid app example was bringing in. So with this subscription strategy, I can focus on creating a great app that is engaging, helpful, and delivers so much value that people happily pay every month because they think it's worth it. My time is focused on product and retention instead of marketing. To recap, with a paid app, I have to focus on getting more paid users in order to grow my revenue. So that's going to be a focus on marketing. With a subscription-based monetization strategy, I can increase my revenue either by getting more users through marketing or by making a better product so people continue paying month after month. If I'm a solo indie developer or entrepreneur who only has time to focus on one thing, I would choose the subscription monetization strategy and focus on making a great product. Now, all of that is great, but the question on your mind has to be, how do we do it? Well, for our Instagram Analytics app and for the CodeWithChris app, I'm going to be implementing subscriptions using RevenueCat. Now, they're sponsoring this video, but regardless of that, I would still choose to use RevenueCat than to not use RevenueCat. They just make implementing subscriptions and in-app purchases so much easier. And with the charts that I'm about to show you, they give me a clear view into my app subscription business. If this is the first time you're hearing about RevenueCat, I have a video series on how to sign up for a free account, how to set it up, how to use it inside your Xcode project. You can check it out right over here. Now let's dive into the RevenueCat dashboard and take a look at their charts. Now, a quick note that RevenueCat has changed their pricing so that they don't make any money unless you are making money with your apps. It used to be that the starter and pro tiers were a fixed monthly fee, but now it is a percentage of your monthly tracked revenue beyond the first $1,000 per month. So the charts that I'm going to talk about and the metrics that we'll be analyzing is going to be in this starter tier. So the in-app purchase analytics, you do get some basic metrics and basic charts for the free tier, but for the starter tier, I mean, you can use all of this for free getting started, and you won't be charged anything unless your app starts making more than $1,000 a month. So if you go down here with a calculator, see $1,000 a month, it's still all free. But for example, if you're making $2,000, or $3,000 a month, it becomes $24 a month with the starter tier. So this sort of pricing sort of taxes the rich and taxes the people who are making a ton of money with their apps, and really helps us indie app developers who are just getting started to use some of these very powerful features for no cost up front. Now, having said that, let's dive into the RevenueCat dashboard and take a look at how these charts are going to help us make informed and intelligent decisions about our app business. Now, when you come into your RevenueCat dashboard, you're going to see something like this under the charts section. For me, I don't have any data in my charts yet because I've yet to implement this inside my Instagram Analytics app and the CodeWithChris app, but I do have some charts with data that we will use, and I'll explain to you how the data in all of these charts translates to your decisions that you make for your app. So let's start off by looking at the active subscriptions chart. Now, this active subscriptions chart shows you how many total active subscriptions you have at the end of each period. It's a great top-level metric that at a glance tells you how big your business is. Keep in mind, however, that there are different types of subscriptions that you may have with different periods and different dollar amounts. This aggregate doesn't show you that breakdown, which subscriptions make up this number. Also keep in mind that subscriptions that have auto-renewed disabled, that means the user is not intending to renew, but their subscription is still currently active, those numbers are also counted in here. Luckily, we have other charts at our disposal to drill down and get a clearer picture. So let's move on to the active subscriptions movement chart. This chart is a supplement to the active subscriptions chart that we just talked about. It shows you how many new subscriptions you're getting in each period, but also how many subscriptions have been canceled, also known as churned subscriptions. The number of new active subscriptions indicates the health of your marketing engine. If it is dropping, then your existing marketing channels may be dying off, or maybe they may be losing effectiveness. Or there may be new competition, or maybe it's just a seasonal fluctuation, and maybe it's completely normal. And there are some more charts that we're going to look at that will help you pinpoint exactly what's the problem. On the other hand, if you're implementing a brand new marketing strategy, or you are trying out a new marketing channel, this number of active subscriptions will also tell you if that initiative is working out, because you'd expect to see a rise in this number period over period. Now, the number of churn subscriptions is also a really useful number to watch, because if this is growing, then you should be concerned about why the number of people leaving your app or canceling their subscriptions is on the rise. As you refine your product and you implement new features, I would expect to see this number get lower and lower. So that is one number to monitor if you are actively working to reduce your churn. All right, let's move on to the annual recurring revenue chart. This shows you the annual recurring revenue of your subscriber base. Now, this is a better measure of the health of your business compared to the number of active subscriptions. Using this number, you can make strategic business decisions, such as how much money to allocate to various parts of your business, such as marketing, product development, hiring employees, and so on. Also, on a side note, if you decide to sell your app business in the future, this is the number that potential buyers are going to be looking at as well. Now, the monthly recurring revenue chart tells a different story compared to the annual recurring revenue. While the ARR is great for judging the size of your business, the MRR gives you an idea of the direction your business is going in. Is MRR going up or down? If it's flatlining or even declining, do you have a churn problem? Or maybe you're not bringing in enough new users through the door. If, on the other hand, your MRR is trending up, congratulations, that's great. Can you identify ways to make it increase even faster? Furthermore, if you have a few years of data to look at, interesting patterns start to emerge. For example, fluctuations due to world events or seasonal fluctuations, that'll give you some clues as to when you should boost your marketing, for example. Now, moving on, if the MRR chart tells you the direction your business is going, the MRR movement chart shows you more detail about why it's happening. It shows you the new revenue you've added in each period through new active subscriptions or maybe subscription upgrades, and it also tells you how much revenue has churned or how much revenue you've lost in the same period through cancellations or non-payment. This lets you identify whether you need to focus on reducing churn or upping your marketing. Ideally, you do both, but again, as an indie developer, you've got limited time, and this is going to show you where to focus that time. Now moving on to the revenue chart. This chart shows you the actual revenue that was collected in the period. The ARR and MRR are projections based on the active and lost subscription data. This revenue chart shows you actual dollars earned and collected. Not much more to say about it than that. Now, the next chart is very important, the subscription retention chart. This shows you how long users are staying subscribed. This is extremely important. It gives you a picture of the average lifetime value of a customer. On one hand, it shows you how satisfied your customers are with your product and how long they continue to use it. On the other hand, it also gives you a number for when you're spending dollars on marketing, how much you can afford to spend to acquire new customers. So it's very important to know how long your subscribers are staying subscribed. Now, customers are broken into cohorts, as you can see, by month, and this lets you run experiments on certain months to see if those users stay longer. Now, in the starter tier of RevenueCat, you can also do custom cohorts. So that's really helpful if you want to run an experiment and you want to change something up, and then you want to see for those customers that you changed things up for, how long they end up staying, to see if you should implement that tweak or that change or not. That's something that you can do as well. Now, one very common thing that you'll see in subscription-based apps are free trials, or usually it's a free trial. So the next chart, trial conversion chart, shows you how your free trials, or rather, how many of your users are taking you up on your free trial, and then how many of them are either canceling that free trial or converting to paying subscriptions. So let's go through this really quickly. All the new users in your app are counted in the new customers column. I know that's a little misleading because they're not technically a customer yet. They're a potential customer. If they take you up on your free trial, they'll move over to the trial column, but they'll also be represented in the pending column. Now, why is that user represented in the trial column and also the pending column? Well, this lets you compare the number of new customers, or new users, I would actually say, the number of new users compared to the number of people who took you up on your trial. So you can get a percentage of how many users actually took you up on the free trial. And as for the pending column, they'll either move to the abandoned column if they disabled renewing of that trial, or they'll move over to the converted column if they actually converted to a paying subscription and they didn't cancel the free trial. So again, using this data, you can see how many users took you up on the free trial, and then of those people who took you up on the trial, how many of them either canceled or turned into a paid subscription. And that data is really useful because it gives you a benchmark of where you stand, and then you can tweak your app, maybe tweak your offers, your prices, your durations, present the offers at different points in the app, and see how that affects this data. So again, this is split by cohorts. By default, it's by month. So you can either run your experiments, per month, or again, you can do custom cohorts, which is what I'd recommend. That's going to let you see if that particular experiment was successful or not in increasing the number of trials or increasing the number of trials to paid users. And then you can actually integrate that feature into your app or ditch it and try something else. All right, let's move on to the active trials chart. This shows you how many people are currently on a trial subscription. These people can potentially abandon the trial or convert to a full subscription. Using this chart, you can foresee the potential impact on your business and revenue in the near future. Now, the active trials movement chart. This chart breaks down what's actually happening with your trials. You can see the growth or decline in both new trials and abandoned trials. Going back to the trial conversion chart for just a moment, if I were trying to convert more new users into trialing users, I could tweak my app, maybe tweak my prices or my offers or where I'm presenting, that trial offer. And then I would monitor the active trials movement to see if there is an increase in the number of new trials. On the flip side, if I'm running an experiment to try to reduce the number of abandoned trials, I would be looking for a decline in the number of expired trials throughout the periods. This active trials movement chart allows me to see if my experiments are effective or not. So as you can see, RevenueCat helps you make smart decisions about your business because it gives you a clear picture into the health of your app subscription business. And just to recap, I think the subscription monetization strategy is a great one for indie developers or solo entrepreneurs because we have limited time to decide where to place our focus. And having a subscription-based app allows you to focus on your app, trying to make it the best product you can while still enjoying revenue growth month over month. Now, if you are interested in trying out RevenueCat for free, you can go ahead and create an account. Just visit CodeWithChris.com/rcat. Now, just to be completely transparent, I'm not going to get any sort of commission or kickback from that, but it does allow RevenueCat to know that you guys, being CodeWithChris viewers, are interested in more content around app monetization. After you do that, go ahead and watch our series right over here on how to use RevenueCat inside Xcode and for building your iOS apps. Lastly, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.